Hello everyone, welcome back to the data science program. In the previous two videos we have studied about we have started the object oriented programming, and we have studied about the magic method, which is also known as the under method. Under magic method we have studied about the first magic method, which was the constructor, and we have created one banking application where we have used a non-parametric constructor. We have not used any parameter inside that constructor. So in today's session we'll be creating our own data type, which is the fraction data type, and we'll be using the parametric constructor this time, and we'll be using the other dunder methods or other magic methods like add, sum, multiply, subtract. So what we'll be doing is there is no data type in Python by the name of fraction. So there is no fraction data type in Python. So we'll be creating our own data type fraction, and we will create the fraction data type in such a way that whenever we give the input as a numerator and as a denominator, it shows us the output in the fraction form. And we'll be creating the fraction data type in such a way that we can add two fractions, we can subtract two fractions, we can multiply two fractions, and we can divide two fractions. So we'll be doing that in today's session. So I'll take you guys to the Colab notebook. This is super important. Just watch this video and practice the code once or twice depending on your requirement. This is super important. So what I will suggest you guys is just watch this video and code with me, or if you don't code, just watch this video and code after watching this video. So I'll take you guys to the Colab notebook where we'll create our own data type, which is the fraction data type. So in today's session we'll be creating our own data type. So initially when we are creating our own data type, because we are studying about object oriented programming, so we'll be using class, and inside class we'll be using magic methods. So we will create our class, which is the fraction class. The class name has to be in the fraction name which you are using, the class name which you are using, that has to be in Pascal case. What does it mean? It has to start from the capital letter, and if you're using two words, both the words should start from capital letter, and then you have to use this. Now then we will be, say whenever we are creating a class, there has to be a constructor, and this time we are using the parametric constructor. Last time when we created the banking application, we have used non-parametric constructor. So this time we are using parametric constructor. So we are using parameterized, I guess it is parameterized constructor, and we are using parametric constructor. So the parametric constructor will start from def. The format is, you have to use init is the name of the magic method, which is the constructor, and then it requires because since it is constructor, so we will use self. We have already studied about this self. This self is nothing but the object, because your methods cannot interact with each other, or your method cannot interact with its own variable. So we have to use this self. So, and since it is parameterized constructor, we will be using our variable name. So now we will discuss what are the variables will be required in this code. So because we are creating the fraction data type, so fraction needs only two things, numerator and denominator. So we'll be using two variables here by the name of x or y, or any name you can take, x comma y. We are using x and y, and all the variables will be created inside the constructor only, and we have to give this colon, and we'll create our variables now. So whenever you are creating the variable, you have to use this self, because your self is the object which will help you to interact, which will help to interact between methods and variables. So we will use self dot we will use numerator num, self dot num equals to x, and then we will use one more, self dot denominator equals to y. So we have created our variables, numerator and denominator. So we have our first magic method, which is the constructor, and the format for constructor is def double underscore init double underscore, and self is the object. Now sorry about this, I don't know why it's coming. So now we how should we proceed in this program? So we have got our variables, and now if I create the object of this, if I create the object of this class, let's say the object of this class is fr, and the syntax for creating the object is object name equals to, and then you have to type the class name. The class name is fraction, and then you have to use opening and closing bracket. Now if I execute this piece of code, this will execute. Now if I execute this piece of code, it will show us the error, and just wait for a few seconds. See, we are getting the error here. Why we are getting the error? Because it is a parameterized constructor and it requires two inputs. The constructor requires input here, and we have not provided the input here. See, fraction init missing two required positional arguments x and y. So we will provide, let's say the first number is 3 and the other number is 4. We are providing this, and now if I run, we will not get the error. We instead and now we will try to, this piece of code has been executed, and now if we try to print, we will try to print the object fr, and now if we execute, we will get the fraction object. See, we are getting the fraction object, but we want this result to be in fraction form, like 3 by 4. But why we are getting this fraction object here? See, we are getting this fraction object because we have not used the other magic method. So whenever we want to print the object, we have to use the other magic method apart from this constructor, which is the str function. So to print this object, we need that we need that str magic method. So we will create the second magic method. Now we will create the second magic method, def. To always remember this thing, whenever you want to print the object, you have to use whatever logic you are giving inside the other magic method, which is the str. You have to provide the logic inside that str, then only it will print. So here we will give str, and then we will give, it also requires a self, which is nothing but the object, and now it will have a return value. So now what it let's say if we are returning my name Vikash, and now if I execute this piece of code, it will execute. Just wait and watch. It will execute this piece of code, and we are hoping that we will get 3 by 4 here, but we won't get 3 by 4. We will get Vikash as the output here. See, if I try to print the object, we will get Vikash as the output, but we want 3 by 4 as the output here, but we are not getting. Why we are getting this? Because we have given the logic, because fraction data type is not present inside Python. We are creating our own data type, so we have to give the logic here, and in the logic we have given I have given my name. So now Python thinks that fraction object is nothing but it returns Vikash as the output. So we have to give the logic in such a way that we should get 3 by 4 as the output. So what we will do, we will create this string and we will use the string formatting here. So see what we will do here, we will use return in string. We will create string bracket curly bracket by curly bracket by, okay, sorry, why I'm not getting this, sorry, this I think there is some issue with my key shift. Okay, I think there is some issue with my key, so I have to use this. Sorry about this. Okay, sorry. Okay, now what we will do here is we will use string formatting, and see, we are using this inside this string, and now we will do format, and this is the numerator and this is the denominator here. This is the numerator and this is the denominator, and we have used it inside this quotes. That means this is a string and we have to format this. So now inside format we will provide num, numerator and denominator. Numerator and denominator we are providing. So okay, and now self and num and den. Now if we execute, it's taking a bit of time, but it will run. See, now if we execute, I will execute this, and now if you try to print fraction, okay, sorry, we have to use self dot sorry about that, self dot num, and we have to use self dot den, and now if we execute, we will get 3/4 as the output. See, we are getting 3/4 as the output. We need self because we cannot it cannot interact with the variable, so we have to use self. So see, till now what we have done, we have created the class fraction and we have used parameterized constructor. So we have used the constructor here. Inside that we have created the variable. Whenever you are creating the class, whenever you are using the constructor, that so whenever you are using the class, the variable has to be created inside the constructor only. So then we are using the second magic method, which is the string str method, and inside that we have created the string and we have used the string formatting. So now we get, instead of this 4, if you give now let's say if we are giving 6 or any other number, let's say 8, and now if we execute, we will get 3/8 as the output. See, we are getting 3/8 as the output here. So we have created the we have used two methods, magic methods, the constructor and the str method, and we have created, whenever we get the numerator and denominator, whenever we are sending the parameter as numerator and denominator, so we are getting the fraction. And now we will create the function for adding fractions, for subtracting fraction, for multiplying function and fraction, and for dividing fraction. So for that we will be using the other magic method, the third magic method, which is the add, for adding two fractions. So before that I will show you guys the logic. So logic is, I have already created this. So see, let's say for adding we have two fraction numbers. This is the first number, fraction number, this is the second fraction number. If we want to add these two, so what is the logic is going to be? So this will be multiplied by this, this will be multiplied by this, so this into this, and this into this, and divided by denominator into denominator. And this is going to be our new numerator, this is going to be our new numerator, and this is going to be the new denominator. And we will again use the string formatting, where numerator will be this part and denominator will be this part. So now what we will do here is, we will create the third magic method, def, which is add, and this requires two things. Apart from self, it will have others also. So we will have self and other. So if you come here, we are adding these two fraction numbers, so this will go to self and this second fraction number will go to others. So, and self will also have numerator and denominator, and others will also have numerator and denominator. So it has self and other. Now we will create new numerator, sorry, I have to use this, now we will have new numerator. We will create a variable new numerator equals to, now we will write the logic. See, if we are solving this, so since this is from the self and this is from the other, so see, 1 into 11 means self dot num into self dot other, sorry, self dot numerator other dot denominator. So what we will do here is, for 1 we will write self dot numerator. So we will write self dot num, which is 1, self dot num, which is 1, into, and then we have this 11, which is other. This is from other dot denominator, other dot den, and then we will add, see, we are adding, and then again we are taking other numerator of other into a denominator of self. So other dot numerator, other dot num into, and then we have other dot num into 2, which is self dot denominator, So we have this other dot numerator, self dot denominator. Now we have got our new numerator. Now we will type new denominator. For new denominator, see, this is our new denominator, so 2 into 11, so this is self dot denominator. So we will type self dot denominator, and then we have self dot denominator into other dot denominator. So self dot denominator and other dot denominator. So we will type other dot denominator. So we have got our new numerator and we have got our new denominator, so we can do string formatting directly. And now what we will do, we will simply return, we will use string formatting. Inside string we will use this by this, and then we will do format, and then we will do new num, and then new den. So we have created this new num and new den. So we have created the function for adding two fractions. So now if I execute this piece of code, and if I execute this piece of code, and if I execute this, if I do and we have to create two fraction object here, then only we can add. So let's say we are doing fr2 equals to, and again we are using fraction, and this time we are adding, let's say 1, 5. And now if you're adding, I will just execute this piece of code, I will run this cell. So now if we try to add fr2, and now if I execute, see, we are not getting the simplified fraction. Why we are not getting? Because we have not given the logic for that. Right now we are creating a simple fraction data type which normally adds two numbers, which will multiply two fraction, which will divide two fraction numbers, and so, which will subtract two fraction number. So we are getting this, and we are done with the third magic method, which is the add magic method, and we have created the logic for adding two fractions. And now see, I have not written the logic for subtracting 2. I have not written the logic for subtracting 2 because this is the same. Instead of this plus, we have to use only minus. This will multiply by this number, this will multiply by this number, and 1 into 11 minus 7 into 2, and rest will remain the same. So what I will do here is, I will copy this. I will copy this, and I will paste it over here, and instead of this add, I will use subtract, sub, and instead of this plus, I will use minus. The rest everything will remain the same. See, I think there is some indentation error. Now it's fine, I guess. See, now it's fine. So now if I use run this cell, we will get the output. This time we will subtract fr minus fr2. We have created two fraction objects, and now I will use minus symbol, and now if we do subtraction, we are getting the a result. You can use any other number. You can use 1 comma 5, 1 by 5, sorry, 1 by 7. And now if I run, we will get the output. It's taking a bit of time, but it will run. And again, see, we are getting different output. So we have created, we have used three magic methods. Constructor, which is here we have used the parameterized constructor, and we have used the add method and the subtract method. Now we will create the function, which is the multiplication function for multiplying two fraction numbers. And what I will do is I will copy this only and copy this, and the name of the magic method is instead of this subtraction, we will have mul, M-U-L. So then if we come back here, see, if we want to multiply these two, let's say we want to multiply 3 by 4 and 1 by 2. So this is the first fraction number, this is the second fraction number. This will go to self, this will go to others. See, we have two, self and others. So this 3 by 4 will go to this self, and the other one, 1 by 2, will go to others. Self will also have numerator, self will have denominator, other will have numerator, other will have denominator. So now we have to create new numerator and new denominator. So I will do new num equals to, now we'll see the logic here. So if we want to multiply these two fraction numbers, we will do we will multiply 3 into 1, 4 into 2, which means self numerator and other numerator divided by self denominator and other denominator. So both are numerator, self numerator and other numerator. So we will use self dot num into, and then we will use other dot num. This is the new numerator. See, this is the new numerator, self dot num and other dot num. And now we will create new denominator, new denominator, and it will have self dot den into other dot den. So we have got our new numerator and new denominator. So we have got this numerator, and this denominator. Now we have to do this, we have to create the string by using the string formatting. So we will simply return this bracket by this bracket, and then we have to come out of the string and do format, and in place of this curly bracket we have to pass new numerator, and instead in place of this denominator we have to pass new denominator. We are passing new denominator. So see, we are done. And if I execute, and now if I do multiplication, let's say we are multiplying 3 by 8 into 1 by 7, 3 by 8 into 1 by 7. So see, 3 by 8 into 1 by 7, which means 3 into 1 is 3 and 8 into 7 is 56. We are getting the correct output. This is not in the simplified form because we have not given the logic for that, but still we have created our data type fraction, and we have created in such a way that we can add two fraction, we can subtract two fraction, we can multiply two fraction numbers. And now last one is pending, which is the which is used for the division purpose. So I will create the last one. So I will copy this, and this time we don't have to use the div the actual name is TrueDiv. So the last magic method which we are going to study in this session is we will use TrueDiv, which is used for division. TrueDiv, and then you have to use this, and this also has self and other. So see, now if we come to the logic, if we want to divide 3 by 4 with 1 by 2, so sorry about that, so we have to do cross multiplication, 3 into 2, so self numerator into other denominator, and then denominator is going to be the self denominator into sorry, this has to be 1, sorry, this is nothing 1, this is nothing but 1, this is 1. Okay, I'm not able to see, this is 1, sorry, this is 1, so this into this and 4 into 1. So what I will do is self numerator, self dot numerator, then I will come, okay, I forgot to use this. Okay, now I will create new numerator, and new numerator is self dot num into other dot denominator, then self dot num, self dot num into other dot den, and then we are done with this numerator, new numerator, and now we will create new denominator, new denominator. So new denominator is 4 into 2, which is self dot denominator into self dot denominator into this is 1, other dot numerator, other dot numerator, and then we have got our new numerator and denominator. So we will return this bracket by this bracket, and we will use dot format, and we will pass for numerator we will pass new num, and for the denominator we will pass new den, and we are done with the last magic method, which is the TrueDiv, which is used for division purpose. So see, we have created, and now I will use some other numbers. So I will use any random number, let's say 3 by 8, and in here I will use let's say we are using 7 by 3, let's say. And now what we will do is we will try to divide. See, we will try to divide. We will use this division symbol, which means 3 by 8 dividing 3 by 8 by 7 by 3. So this is smaller number compared to this one. So smaller number is we are dividing smaller number with this number. So see what output we are getting here. See, we are getting 9 by, because we are dividing small number with a bigger number, which means we will get less than 1. So we are getting that. So we are done with this. We have created our own data type, which is the fraction data type, and I'll try to summarize everything again. So we have created the class, we have used parameterized constructor. It requires 2 variables, numerator and denominator. We have, since it's parameterized, the constructor expect 2 inputs here, because we are using creating 2 variables x and y, and we have created 2 variables, self.num and self.den, and equals to x and equals to, and then whenever we want to print the object, you have to write the logic inside str function. So we have done that. So we have used the string formatting for printing the object. So we have used this, and we have passed numerator to this and denominator to this, And then for adding first we have created the logic for writing the fraction. Let's say we are giving 3 and 4 as the numerator and denominator. It will be in the format 3 by 4. So we have done that, and now we have created the function for adding two fractions and multiplying two fractions, subtracting two fraction numbers, and dividing two fraction numbers. So this was the third class on object oriented programming, and with that we have done a lot. We have started with the object and classes, and then we have studied about magic method in the second class. This class also we have continued to study about magic method only, and we have created our own data type. So this session was really important to show you guys how important object oriented programming is. You can create your own data type, and this is such a powerful tool. You can do a lot more with this. So I hope you guys like this video. So thank you for watching, and hope you guys liked it. Thank you.